Hello, 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 welcome to... It's been a long time. Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 536 of Prog. Today I'm talking about Slow Dance by Phillips. This is the expanded deluxe edition that was released in 2017 for those who are watching in the far-flung future. This was originally released back in September 1990. Look, over there. It was like the last one on vinyl. There you go. And, yeah, and it's... Well, what could you? How could you describe it? I suppose you'd call it. It's Anthony Phillips's Tubular Bells. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Again, before this point, you know, Anthony Phillips, ex-Genesis founding guitarist, had a varied career. End up doing TV music and this kind of thing. And that's where we end up with this album. It's in two parts, which stretched the length of a side of vinyl, 23 minutes and, well, quite 24 minutes and 27 minutes either side. And yeah, I remember when it came out. Those were the memories. Thanks for the memories. And I remember it was one of those. Well, a good few years later, when the missus learnt to drive, we used to put this one on in the car when we went for a drive in the evenings of the night. Very, very good driving music I had. Again, I don't know what other people's opinions of it. I've heard some people say it's boring, but I like it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of musical ideas in this. It comes at you thick and fast. I mean, the worst thing about it is the title, Slow Dance, because it doesn't really actually reflect what's the music therein. You know, that conjures up images of something completely different. So yeah, it should be called something else. Ralph Bernascone's Revenge. There you go. That's what it should be called. So at least we've settled that one. So yeah, I've always got a great fondness for it. Like I said, a lot of ideas. Some may say it's kind of new age. I've got no problem with new age. One criticism levelled at it is the production's a bit sterile. You know, it's a bit 1990s. It's very, very clean production. So when it comes to hearing this remastered, you know, it's not one of those albums that really needed a remastering. So I was kind of here for as usual, for the 5.1 mix. Again, in this set, now I'm going off on a tangent. I'm talking about the 5.1 mix. Yeah, it's pleasant enough. Nothing new really that jumps out of you. Yeah, you get it's really dynamic. It's really enveloping. And the album, you know, suits a 5.1 mix because there is a lot going on. There's a lot of instrumentation, strings and synthesizers and whatnot, you know, going on in it. So yeah, I like it. And they did include the bass, the bass subwoofer this time, unlike Wise after the event, no bass woofer. So yeah, I like that. You also get a second CD called Slow Dance Vignettes, and these are all like kind of stripped down parts. I don't know. They're probably demos and whatnot. You know, bits from the album. That's where the interesting stuff lies. If you're a really big fan of the record, because you see the record in its component parts. You see ideas being presented, and they're very similar, but you just see them mixed and broken apart. You know, you see the details. So yeah, it's very interesting, and a lot of this stuff, I think, yeah, all the stuff on this second CD had not been released before, so that's quite unusual in this day and age. You know, usually you hear the sound of the dead horse being flogged in 5.1, but there is new stuff to be heard.
Shame that it wasn't included on the DVD, but there you go. It's on the CD, and that's it. The remastered disc, it's all right. It's all right, but you know, it's not one of those albums I think really needs it. But you know, there'll be people out there that may argue. There's always people out there who want to argue, isn't there? Again, another plus point for this is the booklet. Jonathan Dan has written another essay. He does it with all these deluxe editions, and the story, the coming about of the album is really interesting. I'm not going to spoil it. Buy it, read it. It's interesting, and it gives a whole load of background. Again, back in the day, back in 1990, we didn't have the internet, or you know, I don't think there was any music press about this record. I remember there being an advert in Q magazine or something like that, but I don't remember there being any interviews or anything like that, so I had no idea how the record came about, what the background, what the history of it was, you know, where it came from. So reading about how, because it's a record that came out under duress, I think it's safe to say, without spoiling it. So that was interesting to read, because it is such a really good record. I mean, I think it's a really good record, actually. You know, because with Anthony Phillips, I'm used to him, you know, having little bits of ideas. You know, these private parts and pieces albums are like fragments of ideas presented. You know, a lot of what he does are just, you know, bits of ideas. No, there are fully formed songs, but I'm talking about all those compilations. So here to have like two perfectly formed, you know, song parts on an album, you know, it's quite, you know, it's his most structured thing since Geese and the Ghosts. So you know, I think I hold them in the same regard. Again, there will be an out there going, "Oh, damn, it's boring. It's new age." It was 1990. Come on, you know. 1990. You got an album by Anthony Phillips, which, like I said, is his Tubular Bells. It's very much, if you like Mike Oldfield, I think you might enjoy some of what's presented here, because again, it's more structured, you know, formulated, rather than it being, you know, a little bit. Some of the way stuff is a bit fast and loose. So yeah, I mean, again, these reissues have been rather good. Some of them again have had a lot of repetition from the previous reissues. This one, I think this is the first time it's had a proper reissue, and it's nice, you know, to get the second disc of stuff and the surround sound disc. But again, it really is for the hardcore. It really is for the hardcore fans. So you know, it'd probably help if you really like this record. But saying that, if you want to take a punt, if you want some really, you know, edifying instrumental music with a progressive slant, you know, from the man, like I said, that was at the beginning, who played on Trespass, Genesis album. Pick it up. Even if it's your first Anthony Phillips album, I don't think you'd be that disappointed by it. Though, you know, don't expect it to rock your world. It's more genteel than that. Then I'm underselling it. It's hard. It's hard when it's a record you like, isn't it? I don't want to overdo it, just in case you're disappointed. But so yeah, I thought again it's a well worth it release. The only problem is it's the clamshells, and they've gone for the digibook. We had the first few releases in clamshell, and then they started doing them in digibook, and everything looks a little bit wonky. What's going on, esoteric cherry red? What's going on there? Make your bleed mind up. It's a bit schizophrenic, isn't it? So yeah, it's well worth checking out. Again, all of these in this series, I think, are well worth it. Apart from Wise After the Event, whose base channel is completely not there. So yeah, it's been interesting. I don't know if we'll get any more of these. Somebody in the live stream mentioned Invisible Men. I wouldn't know. Oh, I don't even. Like I said, I've never even owned a physical copy of that record. It's been a download from eMusic. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know what else there is to do. I suppose there's the. I don't know. There are some other compilations he's done of TV music, but I don't know if they'll get. Again, it's all about rights issues, isn't it? And you know, but I don't know if we'll get the DVD surround sounding stuff. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to assume that this is the last in the series, but Tarka, unless they do Tarka, which was before this, which he did with Harry Williamson. I suppose they could do a reissue of that, but they've done this, so wouldn't that have come? I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head now. So anyway, in terms of rating, I'm going to give this. Oh, what the hell? Let's be generous. I'm going to give it 5 no way outs out of 5. That's not 5 no way outs out of 5. Because, again, it's a nice little bit of nostalgia. It's like meeting an old friend again, you know, who's wearing a new suit. Terrible analogy, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed listening to the slow dance vignettes as well, because it was something that was actually new. It makes a difference rather than something that you've heard before and has been repackaged as new. Oh, cynical Darren, you know what I mean. A lot of record companies do that. So anyway, I've been talking about Slow Dance, the deluxe edition. 2 CDs, 1 DVD from Esoteric / Cherry Red. It's just come out. It's about 20 quid or less. You know, you takes your pick, don't you? So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have fun. Don't forget to subscribe, and there's the Patreon and the you know. Anyway, on that, there's only one more thing to say, and that is prog on.